Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. In this episode, I'll show you how to do policy-based routing with TP-LINK OMADA. So for this episode, we'll need more than one ISP provider to follow through the configuration. With regards to the secondary ISP provider, one of the primary home use case for the second ISP is for backup, especially now that many users are working from home. The second ISP can be another full-blown ISP provider or a Starlink or maybe a home mobile internet, or it can be an emergency hotspot as well. However, sometimes making the second ISP just for backup, just standing by not being utilized, is not the best use because it's expensive, so many users use it for load balancing instead. However, while load balancing is great, it's in scenarios where the second ISP has a cap or a limit or a lot slower, this might pose a challenge. So in this scenario, it's always good to separate your high traffic and low traffic users. Another scenario is maybe you just want to get your work from home VLAN to be dedicated just for work and gaming is dedicated for gaming. So you can separate those traffic as well using policy-based routing. And then there's another scenario, could be that your ISP is mostly for your home day-to-day use and just use the second ISP mostly for your IoT that sends and receives commands for your home automation, especially if your second ISP is not that fast. So there are multiple ways to achieve this, and in this video, I will show you how to do this using VLANs. But before we continue, I just want to ask for your help that if you find this episode helpful and useful, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to help the channel. For those who have already done so, thank you so much for your support. Okay, now let's switch to the design. Okay, so if you have been following the series, this design will be very familiar to you. But if it's your first time seeing this design, I highly recommend to watch my previous episodes that discusses and fully walks you through on how to set up this type of network. Okay, so I'm not going to go through what the design is. I just want to cover the dual WAN and the policy-based routing in this design. So as you can see here, for my setup, I have two ISP providers. One is AT&T and the other one is Comcast. And then I'm going to use VLAN 60 and VLAN 70 to show you how to do policy-based routing using VLAN. Okay, so for this scenario, VLAN 60 will always use the AT&T network and VLAN 70 will always use Xfinity network. Okay, so let's get on with the configuration. So as you can see here, I'm using ER-7206, SG2210MP, and EAP235. So this policy-based routing applies for both wired and wireless clients. And for ER-7206, as you can see here, I have SFP1 and 1 both online. And don't worry about the IP address here. This is not my real one ISP, so it's okay to show you guys this one, so it's okay. For the switch, I just want to show you the ports here that I'm going to use. As you can see here, I have VLAN 60 in port 4 and VLAN 70 in port 5. So if you're looking at the mini video, I'm pointing at the mini video here. This is my PC. This is my home PC. I'm currently in the admin VLAN, and then I'm going to switch this admin PC to simulate VLAN 60 and VLAN 70 to demonstrate VLAN 60 clients and VLAN 70 clients, and I will show you how I use one ISP provider if I just change my VLAN. Okay, so you can see here, this is port 4, this is port 5. Okay, so let me show you my IP address. I'm currently in this VLAN. Admin VLAN. There you go. I'm in the admin VLAN. So let me open the DOS console. Let's ping google.com. Honesty. Okay, there you go. And you can see if I remove my cable here. There you go. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, so for the configuration, you have to go to settings here. Okay, I'm clicking it, settings. Okay. And go to your transmission. Okay, and go to policy routing. There you go. So I'm going to create two policies in here. One is specifically for VLAN 60 and one is for VLAN 70. Okay, so this one is ATT route. ATT redirect. So you can do any names you would like to name it. Protocols, all protocols, and then one select. I'm going to use SFP1 for my AT&T, and then that will be VLAN 60 AT&T and all traffic. So what I'm saying is all traffic coming from AT&T VLAN going to any IP use SFP1. So for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to uncheck this for making sure that I always use one wide area network. Okay, so let me create this one. And then create another one, Xfinity redirect. Okay, and then one. Again, I'm going to uncheck this one for demonstration purposes only. Okay. And there you go. I have VLAN 60 to IP group any use SFP1, this is my AT&T, and then Xfinity redirect use 1 for Comcast. I open here my TP-LINK OMADA controller. Let me do a quick refresh here. So it's been open for a while. I want to make sure I can connect here. Okay, let's see. While that's happening, I'm still pinging Google. Okay, that's good. Okay, because once I move my cable to VLAN 60 and VLAN 70, I will lose access to my local OMADA controller because of the ACLs. So I want to make sure that if I need to do some changing or checking, I can still do that. Okay, anyway, so everything seems to be okay. Let me go to IP chicken and let's do a quick refresh of the IP. So let me do a refresh, and you can see that I'm using this. This is my AT&T IP address. And then here, as you can see here, I'm still pinging. And then what I'm going to do is show you that I'm moving into the AT&T. Okay, so this is my primary is AT&T. So when I move my cable to VLAN 60 AT&T, it will not change. It will still be AT&T. Okay, because my primary is my AT&T. I'm separating the traffic. Okay. So you can see here there's a general failure error. Ping transmit failed. Okay. Now it's replying. Let's check the IP. So as you can see, I move on to VLAN 60 now. I'm in 192.168.60.100. I'm in VLAN 60. So I should still be in AT&T if I do a refresh. As you can see, all the other ads have re-uploaded. But now let me change to VLAN 70. So this is the correct behavior. Okay. So now I'm going to move my cable here. There you go. And I'm moving to VLAN 70. Okay, and let's check my IP address. So now I'm in 70.101, and as you can see, this one as well, it has changed. So let's go to the IP chicken. So once I hit refresh, it should show a different IP address now. Okay, so let me do a refresh. 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. You can see it has changed. Okay, so let's do that again. And I'm going to show you transferring my cable again here. So let me just drag it over here. So I'm moving it to the AT&T VLAN. So this is my cable and I'm moving it to AT&T VLAN. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. As you can see on the console as well, is general failure. And I move it to another one. And in the Windows 2, you can see it's enabled. I will have the VLAN 60 in here. Deploying now. So now I can do a refresh. There you go. You can see that the IP address has changed into my AT&T provider. So let's do a final check, a final demonstration. I'm moving it to VLAN 70 again. Here. And I'm moving it to VLAN 70. And let's check. Okay, let's check our IP. IP shows it's 70.101. Looking good. Okay. And let me do a final refresh. So this one should show Xfinity. There you go. Xfinity. Okay, so let me switch back to my Okay, so I'm going to show you another way to do policy-based routing. Earlier we did a VLAN-based policy-based routing. Now what I'm going to show you is how to do policy-based routing based on network traffic port. So this is important because in the previous demonstration, for your traffic to be redirected from one ISP provider to another, you need to be at a certain VLAN. In this particular demonstration or part that I'm going to show you next is that it will be based on your application's network port. For example, FTP is always using port 21 and web is always using port 80 and or port 443 for communication. So once you know the network port of your application, you can always redirect this traffic to a specific ISP provider or one port in your device. Okay, let's say you have a games, so whether they connect to a certain VLAN, wired or wireless, as long as the game is always using the same network port. For example, Minecraft. For demonstration purposes though, since I don't have Minecraft installed here, it's easier to show that using the web protocol or web ports, which is port 80 and port 443. Okay, so just like before, go to your settings and then go to transmission and go to policy routing, and let's just turn this off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is create a new policy based on the network port. So how to do that? So let's create a new routing. This one is let's go web redirect. Okay, let's do all. I'll just do all because I'm lazy, and use one. Okay, this one. It doesn't matter where it's gonna come from. So in this scenario, we will have IP group as any. Okay, so it doesn't matter where it's gonna come from, right? What VLAN. So it means any IP. So long as that application is using or the destination is using port 80 and port 443. So let's create a new one. Let's call it web port. And I'm going to add here 80 and add 443. Then click create. Okay. So now from any IP from your VLAN, so long as it's using this web port, always use this particular one. So let's click create. So for this scenario, the way that I was able to demonstrate it properly is if I use a different browser. I'm going to use Firefox for demonstration purposes. Okay, so as you can see here, for web redirect, it's currently turned on, and let me go to IP Chicken using Firefox. Okay, I have it here. So currently my web redirect is turned on, meaning if I go IP Chicken, it should show my Comcast IP. So let's click this one. And there you go. It shows my Chromecast IP. So let's close it, turn to terminate that connection, and let me turn off this one. So this one tells me that I should use my primary ISP provider, which is the AT&T. So once I do Firefox again, and I hit IP chicken here, it will show my AT&T IP. So 3, 2, 1, IP chicken, go. There you go, you can see. Okay. And let me terminate that connection again. Let me turn this back on. Okay, web the direct. And let me do IP chicken. There you go. And if I turn it off, it should show your AT&T IP. There you go. Okay, so I've shown you how to redirect your traffic using VLAN and how to redirect your traffic using network ports. As you can see here, this one is a properly defined VLAN, and this one is about your network port. So this is completely different approach of redirecting your traffic, but it can be achieved and it can be done. Okay, this one is pretty straightforward based on your VLAN. This one is much more, I guess, a little more involved. You have to think more about how to approach this based on your application, but it's very powerful because of this. You can literally redirect any application, anything at all that you can think of, to a specific ISP provider or specific WAN port using this approach. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something from this video. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you don't like this video, please give it a dislike and let me know what I can improve on. I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you and bye-bye.